Welcome to DasGeek, you Linux-loving fiends, you. We're just going to sit back and have ourselves a little conversation during this time. I'm going to talk about things going on with the channel, things we have planned. We're going to just discuss some things that I've been up to, and hopefully you guys enjoy this content. Now, I guess somebody braver would probably do something like this live, but there's a lot of live shows out there, and I've got a lot going on in my life. So this is kind of a state of the channel, updates, things going on. So first and foremost, by the way, I use Arch Linux. I've been on Arch Linux now, I guess it's been going on over a month, and I've just been absolutely thrilled with it. Now, I have used the Arch-based distros before, and I'm not gonna put any Arch-based distro down because they all have their place and have some amazing things you can do with them. But the same thing always happened to me when I was in one of those Arch-based distros, and that is things would crash eventually. Now, part of that could be the fact that I used to have an NVIDIA video card the last time I was really utilizing Arch-based distros, or even Arch for that matter, because I had played with this way early on in my Linux journey, probably too early, because this is not a beginner's distribution. I mean, a beginner could pick it up, but you're going to have to really be wanting to learn Linux inside and out. So what I love about Arch Linux right now is every day there's tons of updates. You're on that bleeding edge. And I've just been applying them. As they come in, I'm hitting apply for this month, and I've had zero issues, no problems booting, no black screen with the blinking cursor, just everything works. Now I've started to kind of calm down and take a look at the updates and see if I'm ready for them, things like that. But for the most part, it's just, not for the most part, in total, it's just been an absolute joy to use. I have KDE on here, and I've also been using i3. And I have Arch also on my laptop, one of my main laptops that I utilize. It has Arch on it and i3 and XFCE. So I've really come to fall in love with KDE all over again. A lot of that is Michael Tennell, Tux Digital's influence, of course, being on Destination Linux podcast with him. You almost have to fall in love with KDE because he's so passionate about it. But I've really been enjoying KDE. And when I'm feeling like a window manager, I'm doing something where window manager is more efficient, I jump into my i3 session. So one of the things you can see I created is this wallpaper. Now, is it super fantastic and special? No, I mean, I spent probably like 20, 30 minutes on it. It's just something I wanted to throw up. But I have been doing some cool things on the website. So for those who aren't aware, DasGeekCommunity.com, there's some cool stuff out here. Every once in a while, I will post some information on things going on, like the big announcement we have that will be released today of big changes coming in Destination Linux podcast. Additionally, I have things like tools out here, which links to my GitHub page, i3 configurations, etc. My favorite Linux apps. I think this is going to be really beneficial for people to take a look at. I get a lot of, because my channel started out with me being a Windows user and talking about technology to becoming a Linux user and talking about technology, I have a lot of newer Linux individuals who are following. So a lot of times it can be really difficult to start navigating this new world of open source and knowing what software is out there, right? You don't have to go and spend all of this money picking up the software like you do on Windows. A lot of the stuff you can be obtained, but which one do you use to replace what? So in here, I have music apps like PitHost or Clementine for organizing your music. These are the ones I personally utilize, not just a list of random applications. Coding applications, things like FTP resources, Sublime Text, Visual Studio Code as your source code editors. Social applications, including email applications that I utilize. Things that I do for gaming. I get that question a lot. Audio production, what applications? Some of these are open source, some are not, but most all of them are free, at least to start. But if you end up falling in love and utilizing it a lot, definitely donate to the project because somebody spends a lot of time on these programs. Firefox, you know, this is for browsing and privacy. Pia VPN, Clam Antivirus, Bitwarden to share and store your passwords. LibreOffice, Simple Note, what I use for video recording, all the different software and options there, as well as GovCView, That's how I pronounce it. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Webcam settings changer in editor. So if you have a Logitech webcam or whatever, and you want to change some of the, balances, white balance, all of those different things, you can do that in here, and it stays. Once you set it, it will stay for any program like OBS or anything that you utilize. So that's a really cool program a lot of people don't know about. Photo management and editing. So this is what I utilize for photo management or editing photos, doing vector graphics, those type of things. Cloud server stuff. So setting up my Nextcloud on DigitalOcean, my notepad tool, QONotes. Joplin is a really new one that I've started to enjoy a lot as a replacement for like an Evernote, a Simple Note, something along those lines. You have GitHub, Mozilla, Internet of Things, which I'm using for my home automation. We'll be doing more videos on those, but they're going to be coming later in December. And the reason is because I'm moving. So I'm going to have new surroundings behind me, moving to a new place, and financially on lockdown till all that happens. So I'll be purchasing some more home automation things to complete that video series out in December. We have Tiny RSS Reader, which has helped me write the shows for Destination Linux and things like that. FeedBro, Kodi, Plex. And then this is a new section that I added just yesterday for device communication, because one of the things I've started to notice is people are saying, hey, how do I get my phone to connect to Linux or interact with it on the desktop? How do I scan? How do I set up my printer? And those kind of questions, things that I now take for granted, but back then were scary as heck to me too, because some of it, while it's easy, you have to figure out what's the difference between this way of doing it and say Mac OS, or the difference between this way and doing it and Windows. So these are some of the programs that I utilize for that. And as always check out the comments in my videos, because the community has amazing ideas and thoughts. So these are the ones I use. That doesn't mean they're the only list. And in fact, at the very top, you have an alternative to link here, which is one of the resources you can use to find alternatives to some of your favorite software. Check them out, see if you like them. Again, these are just the applications I personally utilize there. So we started adding the smart home IoT section, kind of talking about the software and equipment and things that I've bought for that. We've got the i3 area. So these are apps that I've installed when customizing and making my own i3. I thought you guys might find that beneficial. Things that you can use as, different menus, login managers, Compton, little applets, those type of things that sometimes I will, depending on the i3 that setup that I'm doing, will utilize. And wallpapers. If you want to use, by the way, I use Arch wallpaper. Here you go. But this logo here and these logos, not all the stuff that I've added, are all Carl Schneider's work, who does an awesome job, helps out a lot of people in the open source community with their artwork. So we also have favorite tech in here, which contains some of the specs of my systems and some of my favorite pieces of hardware that I use. And also a Friends of DasGeek, where you can check out other shows that are great friends of the channel, as well as my awesome, amazing patron supporters who help bring the money so my wife doesn't kill me, so that I can purchase things and show them off to the Linux community. So thank you to every single patron out there. It means a ton to me. So those are some of the updates. So we've got the website out here all kind of finished and, well, not finished, but in progress, better than it's ever been before. We've got amazing news happening on Destination Linux. I'll be moving, so there may be a week or two where we don't have a video. I will try to put something out there if I can, but I've got to move all this computer equipment, all this video equipment, all this audio equipment, and everything else I own in my house to a new home. So I'm very excited about that for my family. And we'll actually have like a yard now to play in and stuff. It'll be pretty awesome. But obviously the big tech and things are going to have to go on pause as we get through that. So we have to end every video with some gameplay. And this game is a really fun game to get out there and try. Albion Online. They do have a premium, which you pay monthly for, but I believe you can just buy the base. I was one of the founders on this, but I think the base is like $19, and you don't have to pay for the premium stuff out there, like a monthly subscription fee, like most MMOs like World of Warcraft, etc. The thing I love about this, as opposed to a Blizzard-based World of Warcraft, and boy, have they been in the news lately with their mobile phone entry of Diablo Immortal. Wow. Let's just leave it at that. Since Blizzard likes to snub their nose at other operating systems, this is a fantastic MMO that you can play in Linux or any other OS, Mac OS, Windows that you want. I think it's just a very cool, simple game to play. It's sandbox. You decide what you want to do. You decide how you want to play it. Every day you get missions like this where you can go off, start the mission, kind of get a different dungeon depending on your level to go out there and kill things and complete some of these tasks. So instead of a lot of your typical MMOs where you get into them and you've got quest after quest after quest, you can kind of go do your own thing here. You can just start, you know, being a crafter and mining and all of those type of things. Or you can go out and start exploring dungeons and get into PvP or just do PvE. You have all of those options. If you don't know what they mean, everything I just said there, then you're probably not an MMO player, but I can promise you they're extraordinarily addictive and fun games to play. So Albion Online is definitely one that I would recommend. I think it's a very cool game. I obviously haven't gotten very far in the game, but it's something that, like I said, your progression is saved forever. So you can come in, you can play it for a week nonstop, and then as life happens, you can leave it and come back and all your progression is there. There's no end to it. So everything you do on your character, you know, continues to stay as the game has expansions and other things, which I think they have a big update coming out here soon if it hasn't already dropped. So Albion Online, definitely worthy of a pickup. Plays fantastic in Arch, by the way. And it is meant, though, specifically for Ubuntu. So if you have an Ubuntu-based distribution, you'll have no problems. If you have Arch, you're going to have to do a couple tweaks. And I'll leave those down in the description below in case you need any help setting it up on a different distro than Ubuntu. Let me kill this guy. I can't get the money till I kill him. There's a setting you can change that you can. I don't even care about a dude shooting arrows at me. I want the gold. The beautiful gold. All right, there we go. All right, so that's my video. That's the state of the channel. Some more home automation things coming. I'll probably do a video deep diving into some of my Arch configurations and setups. We'll have some videos coming out definitely in the December area. We're going to heat up because we'll be in the new pad and we'll have some new filming locations and things like that. Very excited to share the new pad with you guys. Until next time, I need you to get out there and fill your brains.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't watch the video.